Hey guys, it's Angelo, and while I'm amidst working on the upcoming Shadowlands videos for you guys, Blizzard has posted some new changes to the Priest, targeting Shadow this time, with changes to Devouring Plague, Fae Guardians, Void Torrent, and removing Legacy of the Void out of the game completely. These changes are quite big, though they're little in numbers. Accordingly, this video will probably not be as long as the other Priest updates, but I'm almost 100% certain that we will see some more bigger tuning changes again before the expansion launches. As always, if you would like to join the discussion with everything Priest or World of Warcraft related, be sure to click the link in the description box below and join our Discord server. But apart from that, we're not wasting any time, so let's go right ahead and have a look. Okay. As always, I will read out the patch notes for you guys first, before going into detail afterwards. The blue post, posted 10 minutes ago at the time of this video, reads the following. Recently, we changed Fae Guardians to apply to your selected target on cast to help address some usability problems. In this most recent Shadowlands build, there is now also a conduit available that allows you to replicate additional fairies onto your party. This redesigned conduit is aimed at addressing the feedback, particularly from Discipline and Holy Priests, that it feels punishing to cast healing spells while the fairies are active. Over the last few weeks, we've also added some notable changes to the Shadow Priest. In some situations, the Priest may want to spend Insanity by casting 2 Devouring Plagues onto the same target in a short time. This can cause a situation where damage in the dot can be wasted. To address this, we've made a change where subsequent Devouring Plagues will cause its damage over time effect to add into the existing dot. Players may notice how this functionality is similar to the Mage Ignite mechanic. We're also introducing a new talent to replace Legacy of the Void, Hungering Void. The intent with this talent, similar to Legacy of the Void, to be ideal in situations where the Priest focuses on a single target. Additionally, we're changing Void Torrent to apply Devouring Plague when cast, rather than refreshing the existing Devouring Plague on the target as it was before. Now of course they really appreciate thoughts and feedback, and thank you very much for testing. Okay, let's start us off with the simplest changes, namely the Fae Guardians conduit. This new conduit should add some flavor and some strength to Fae Guardians itself, but will require some testing on all 3 specs before we could say for certain that this will push the Night Fae and their Covenant up higher on our Covenant rankings for any spec. Specifically for the Shadow Priest, it's changes like these that make me wait with the actual Covenants ranking video, by the way, because our Covenants are undergoing constant changes as you can see, but as always, I'll be sure to keep you updated. The next change is actually very interesting, because Blizzard has actually listened to our feedback and has added an actual Ignite mechanic to Devouring Plague. It's very true that in some situations we'd cast Devouring Plague twice on the target, especially when we have nothing else to spend our Insanity on, which resulted in actual damage of the Devouring Plague being wasted, because there was no real mechanic in place to convert the damage over to the second Devouring Plague. This has changed now, and with this the Ignite mechanic of course in place, there is no restriction or penalty anymore when casting 2 Devouring Plagues into one another. This was hands down the most requested change from the Shadow Priest community, and I'm very happy to see it actually come into the game. Next, let's talk about something that many Shadow Priests will probably not like, while others will enjoy to hear. Legacy of the Void is removed, and this rings in the official end of the Legion and BFA era Shadow Priest. Legacy of the Void will be replaced by Hungering Void, and on screen now you will see exactly what Hungering Void does. The numbers are most likely just a placeholder, as is the Void Form extension duration, but it could also very well just be the intended number. We'll see once these changes actually go live on the beta. When in a single target encounter, this flat damage increase will most likely prove to be the best possible talent to take, simply because it just buffs our damage output on a single target by possibly quite a large amount. In my personal opinion, this is a better solution than Legacy of the Void, but without trying to anger the people who like Legacy of the Void, I'll gladly explain to you guys why. The Legacy of the Void forces the Shadow Priest as a player to learn not only the new Shadow Priest, but also stay ready to play the old Shadow Priest, so to speak, just in case when Legacy of the Void would become strong. This could certainly cause problems and adds a bit too much to the entire spec in my opinion. People who like the old Shadow Priest could prefer just playing with Legacy of the Void, while people who dislike the old Shadow Priest could just stay away from it, which could not only create two specializations within a single spec, but also make balancing a lot harder for the developers. These reasons justify the change and the implementation of Hungering Void in my opinion. The final change to Void Torrent is interesting to be honest, because it's actually a nerf. Jericho, a fellow priest on the Warcraft Priests Discord, pointed this out quite well actually, saying that the extension which we had previously wouldn't make sense when considering Devouring Plague's new Ignite mechanic, which gives further understanding why this nerfed Void Torrent was actually made. Without the nerf, Void Torrent could have become pretty overpowered really, so even though it's a clear nerf, it sounds weird at first glance, but is certainly needed and understandable when considering all changes. Alright. So far, some pretty interesting changes. The opinions within the community diverge a little, with some really enjoying these changes, while others feel a bit on the fence still, especially with Hungering Void replacing Legacy of the Void. Overall though, the Shadow Priest, from a design perspective, probably has the privilege of being one of the best designed, if not the best designed spec in the game, while the Priest overall, so Disc and Holy as well, are also very smooth. The Disc more so than the Holy Priest, but still. There are still many problems however. Covenant choices still leave much to be desired for both Holy and Shadow, while legendaries especially for Shadow Priests are still very lackluster in part. Again, I'm pretty sure that there will be another major update before the expansion launches, so we'll have to wait and see how that turns out, but I am in good spirits. What do you guys think? How are you feeling about the Shadowlands version of the Shadow Priest so far? Do you think it'll be good? And even more importantly, do you think you will enjoy it? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Overall, I think that Shadowlands will be a better expansion arguably than Battle for Azeroth, and especially so when it comes to class balancing, class identity, and gameplay, the Shadow Priest will have an easier time now than back in Battle for Azeroth. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if this video was helpful to you, be sure to leave a like, and if you wish to remain updated on the content of this channel, then feel free of course to subscribe. A very special thanks to my supporters over on Patreon, and thank you everyone once more for all of your support. Now, have a good one my friends, get excited for the upcoming pre-patch and for Shadowlands, and I will see you all in the next one.